Kings in trouble if they don't end up landing OG in a trade and Harrison Barnes ends up walking to some other team.
And Harrison Barnes or Harrison Barnes?
And Harrison Barnes. Like, you miss out on OG and then Harrison Barnes. Let's say then he
You
goes to
missed out
Indiana.
on both of them.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay. What do you think? Are they in trouble?
No, I don't think so. Because I think, and people don't like him, but you might have a guy like Kelly Oubre sitting right there for you. You might have a guy like Rui Hachimura sitting there for you. You might have a guy, I know people don't like this. I don't want him starting.
Interesting.
But you might have a guy like Dylan Brooks in there for you.
Mm-hmm.
So there's other ways that you can absolutely pivot if those things don't happen. Now, to Jesse's question, I would want those two, either one of those two, to happen before we get into the other options. I would want them to trade for OG, or I'd want them to bring back Harrison before, ahead of, getting one of these other guys that I just mentioned. But there's still other ways that you could pivot.
Okay.
What you think?
Man, trouble's a tough word. I don't think they're in trouble. They're not in trouble.
They're not in trouble, but like I feel like that's a step back.
It's not a step. So that's what I was struggling with. They're not in trouble because I don't think it's a step back, and I'm not trying to minimize Harrison for the reasons that you just explained. Like you could probably find a player, but what I'm fearful is it's not a step forward.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
That's what I'm a little fearful of. I feel like Harrison Barnes would be a bigger step forward than. I know that's weird and probably doesn't make sense. But I do feel like maintaining Harrison Barnes would constitute a step forward because of the other things going on. I'm fearful a Kelly Oubre, a Dylan Brooks, insert your favorite realistic free agent target here would be, even if it's a minor step back, I feel like it could be a step back. And I'm not talking a 38-win step back. I'm just talking like if I have the Cleveland Cavaliers taking a small step forward, this would be an equally as small step backward.
It could be. I just, like I said, you get somebody like Kelly Oubre, Dylan Brooks, something like that. I think you can accomplish everything that you're setting out to accomplish with those guys at small forward. Because what really needs to happen is Keegan Murray needs to take a step up.
So that's what I was going to ask you. Does the Harrison Barnes out? If Harrison is out and something doesn't work out with him, does that put more pressure on Keegan Murray to ascend next year?
Depending on who it is. Depending on
who the Harrison Barnes replacement player is.
I keep saying it, and some people don't like it. You bring in Kelly Oubre. I think Kelly Oubre can match up offensively what Harrison Barnes brought to the table, and their games are different. So he may be able to do some things that Harrison isn't able to do, and vice versa. But I don't. You can, production wise, you can make up for what Harrison Barnes brought to the table pretty easy. I think it's the other stuff that you worry about, the cohesion, the leadership. Those things are things that are kind of, you don't know if you'd be able to upgrade from Harrison Barnes with a guy like Kelly Oubre or Dylan Brooks or Rui or anything like that. But production-wise on the court, I think Kelly Oubre, for instance, could do that relatively easy. And it would keep Keegan from having to like step up in a super, super major way. I think it would kind of keep him at a natural progression that you would hope for him to have in his second season.